Before the world collapsed into war, nations shaped the minds of their children. This is how propaganda begins, long before the battlefield. Propaganda does not begin with soldiers or speeches. It begins quietly in classrooms like these. Children learn to salute before they learn to think, to repeat before they understand. The lesson is not knowledge, it is obedience. Frank Capra wanted us to see how the dictators built their power through repetition and spectacle. Every flag, every march, every color was chosen to reach the unconscious mind. The rhythm of the drums, the precision of the parades, the endless symbols of strength, all of it designed to make the people believe that greatness is unquestionable. This is how a nation is conditioned, not by force alone, but by the constant image of unity and fear. Before they learn to think, they are taught to obey. What we see here is not education. It is the first step in shaping a future generation. In Germany, children are taught to salute before they learn to question. The classroom becomes a stage where obedience replaces curiosity, and the teacher's pointer becomes a tool of ideology. Frank Capra wanted the world to understand that dictators do not begin their work on the battlefield. They begin it in the minds of the young. Every gesture, every chant, every repeated symbol is designed to mold the child long before adulthood arrives. In Italy, the ritual continues. The fascist salute is performed not by soldiers, but by schoolchildren. Under the watchful eyes of Mussolini's portrait, the classroom becomes a miniature parade ground, a place where loyalty is rehearsed like a sacred ceremony. And in Japan, the pattern repeats. The rising sun flag, the synchronized movement, the cry of bonsai. These are not expressions of joy, but declarations of devotion. Capra shows us how these nations built their strength on the conditioning of innocence. They taught that the leader was infallible, that the nation was divine, and that questioning was a betrayal. But indoctrination does not end in the classroom. Once the children are shaped, the entire population is brought into the same ritual. The symbols grow larger, the voices louder, the movements more synchronized. The individual disappears, replaced by a collective identity built on fear, pride, and obedience. Capra wanted us to see how propaganda expands from the school desk to the public square, from the innocence of childhood to the marching boots of an entire nation. And now, the final step, the parade. Here, propaganda becomes spectacle. The flags, the uniforms, the drums, the perfect alignment, all of it is designed to overwhelm the senses. This is not simply a march. It is a performance meant to dominate the unconscious mind. The colors are chosen to provoke emotion, the symbols to inspire fear or pride, the rhythm to erase individuality. Capra shows us how the Nazi regime used visual power to control millions, the illusion of unity, the promise of greatness, the threat of exclusion. These parades were not celebrations. They were demonstrations of control, a way to remind every citizen that the regime was everywhere, watching, guiding, shaping their thoughts without a single word spoken. Frank Capra's message is clear. Propaganda is not only what people hear, but what they see. It enters through symbols, colors, rituals, and repetition. It shapes the unconscious long before the conscious mind understands it. By showing these images, Capra warns us that when a nation glorifies its leader above all else, the people become instruments of that vision, trained, conditioned, and marched toward a destiny they never chose. Frank Capra's warning echoes beyond the war itself. He showed that propaganda is not only a weapon of governments, but a mirror of how easily people can be led by spectacle and fear. When the image becomes stronger than truth, and the march louder than reason, freedom begins to fade. These films remind us that the battle for the mind never ends. It simply changes its uniform. To resist propaganda is to keep thinking, even when the world demands obedience.